hop on here and chat, see if anybody's available to chat, because if you've trimmed half square triangles, then you know like how how tedious that can be when you're just trimming them over and over and over and over. So yeah, I just thought I would hop on here and see if anybody wants to get on and chat while I trim these all up. If you have any questions too about the quilt along that I just posted about, then go ahead and ask those as well. And I'm just going to be checking, since it's just me, checking the chat every now and then and see if anybody has any questions or anything. Feel free to ask. I know this was last minute, so maybe nobody is going to hop on, and that's fine. I don't plan on to stay on really long. I'm just going to trim some of these, and like I said, these are going to be for an upcoming project that will be on my channel for free. And these are just 2.5 inch little tiny half square triangles, and I'm trimming up a ton of them. I already sewed and trimmed up a ton of little tiny hourglass blocks. They are 2.5 inches as well. They are so cute. I have a ton of these. These are for the upcoming project that I'm going to be sharing too. Just for reference, I posted a short where I trim these little cuties up. I did 30 of them in just under 11 minutes. I think it was around 10 and a half minutes, and I was so surprised at how fast I was able to trim them up since they're so small. But it's still tedious work trimming these. Hi Liz, hi Chris. Liz, that's why I got on here, because I'm like kind of I'm kind of avoiding work, but this isn't the same type of work, is it? This is tedious work, but it's also still kind of fun, because in the end you get something fun from it. But trimming half square triangles and all that is not my favorite at all. It's just one of those things that has to get done. And hopefully the sound is okay. I didn't feel like hooking up my microphones and everything, so it looks like on my end it's okay, but hopefully it's okay for you all too. It's just me, so I didn't have my husband along helping me set up everything up for the live either. I know, Jeanette, they are so tiny, but they're so cute, and I'm really excited about this pattern. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and you can see it's just using up a bunch of scraps that I had. So I think it's going to be a really cute pattern. It is tiny though. Danelle, I'm good. I'm just it's just one of those things, like this time of year gets really hectic and crazy because soccer just started back. And I'm a little tired because last night my daughter's soccer practice was from 8 to 9:30, but it's about 45 minutes away, so I didn't get home till kind of late. And then it's hard to fall asleep right away after. So, and I still wake up on schedule. Like, I don't set a timer, but it's just like where your body's like, hey, it's time to wake up. This is when you normally wake up. So I'm kind of tired, but I want to get this work done. So I was like, if I go on live and chat with some people, maybe it'll motivate me to keep working on this instead of just putting it off. For these, okay, I have a handy dandy chart next to me because, like I said, I'm making this into a tutorial video. So these started off as 3-inch squares. So I don't know if I have any of, yeah, I still do. So they started off as 3-inch squares that I just sewed together, sewed along either side, and now I'm trimming them up. The little tiny hourglass blocks, they started off as 3.5-inch squares, and it's all scraps. It's just, there's a ton of different prints and stuff through here. It may end up being a mess of a project and not turn out as I envision, and then it probably won't ever show up on my channel, which has happened before. But I think I planned this one out pretty good, and it'll turn out. we'll see. But thank you for hopping on here with me, because this was completely last minute and I wasn't sure if anybody would be able to hop on live. But what is the most amount of half square triangles that you've trimmed for one quilt? This will end up, I think, being the most that I have done, but I did a previous quilt that had half square triangles, and I think it was around 300 that I trimmed up for that, and it may have been more. It's it's a beautiful quilt, and it was scraps too, kind of a patriotic, and that one was a beast to trim up, but worth it. Scraps for me are kind of tricky because I like seeing the scrap pile get smaller, but I don't like cutting up those pieces. I like yardage where I can fold it out, cut a strip from it, and subcut it down. I feel like scraps are tricky in that there's not an easy way to cut them all the time. Like, you're cutting one piece out at a time, and it's tedious and takes a really long time. But on the same end, it's kind of a little more rewarding using up your scraps because you didn't have to buy more fabric and you're kind of using what you have. So I don't know, it goes both ways for me. So I'm excited about this project, though. I hope it turns out as I envisioned. Oh, thank you, Sean. I know you're probably working too, but I appreciate that. You know, I don't go live often, so I've been better at it with my husband getting on, but on myself is kind of scary. But I do appreciate all of you hopping on and keeping me company while I do all this. I think I did trim up some of these already, but these I need 108 of these trimmed up. But I hopped on after already getting some done, but it's a lot. It's a lot to trim up. And then I have some more in different sizes that I'm going to be doing as well. Not today, and probably not live, but I know. Danielle, I agree. Designing scrap quilts is kind of stressful, and then it's hard because you don't know. I mean, when you're designing them, it's like you don't really know how it's going to turn out. You kind of have a vision, but it's hard to tell because you're working with whatever prints and colors that you have in your scrap bin, and then if you're designing it for other people to be able to use too, I mean, you just don't know what everybody's gonna have available, so it's really hard. Liz, I would love to be able to do that. I have some books on organizing scraps, and I've had big ideas, and it's funny because so I started organizing my scraps based on a book that I had where you divide them out into sizes. Like, you have 2-inch, and after you do a project, you cut the fabric down to like 2-inch, 3-inch, whatever intervals it was. I don't remember. And so I got all these little bins, and I was like, I'm going to keep doing this. And after a few projects I did it, I was really good about it. And then I stopped, and now they're just piled up in bags and bins everywhere. But I get motivated like once a year where I'm thinking I'm going to get all my scraps organized. I'm going to be really good about it. And then I don't keep up with it. I need to. It's something I really need to do because I think it would be really helpful in keeping up with working on scrap quilts. But actually doing all that is a whole other story. I am in complete awe and so impressed by people who keep everything really organized. That's just not me. I know seams are a pain, especially the hardest seams for me are, I think it's on the point of flying geese blocks. Like up at the top, they never want to fold right for me up there. I think it's just because so much fabric is coming together in one spot. Sean, yeah. That's why when you go on, you always have someone on with you Saturday mornings, right? If you're still in the chat, Sean, who do you have? Oh, I saw that you're gonna run, but If you hop back on and see anything or haven't left yet, I was just wondering who you have that you're going live with this Saturday morning. I know I saw it up, but I can't remember who it is now. But I always enjoy watching Sean, the guy who sews, his morning lives on Saturday. They're the easiest for me to catch because I'm usually just waking up and getting ready. And so I like sitting there and just, even if I can't chat, I'm usually always on there so that I can just meet whoever he has on and see what their channel's about. Or usually they have a YouTube channel as well. Sometimes they're on Instagram and share things about quilting on there, but it's always fun. If I'm missing anybody, question or comment, I really apologize. It's a little harder keeping up with the chat when I'm on here by myself, but it's fun. I'm glad you all are hopping on with me. That's really exciting. I like having someone to chat with while I'm doing this tedious work. If you have any questions about the quilt along that I recently posted about, let me know. I'm really excited about it. I think it's a fun quilt, and I'm really hoping to get a lot of photos of what everybody is using for fabric and their progress in my Facebook group, because that was a lot of fun in the last quilt along, and this one will be really fun to see all of your interpretations of what fabric will look good on it. I am probably actually going to make another one, and because after I started doing it in the fall colors, I was like, oh my gosh, this would look so fun in Christmas prints. So now I really want to do it in some Christmas fabric. And I was talking to Chris from Sew the Distance about it, that I really want to do it in some Christmas fabrics. And we were just bouncing ideas about how it would look cute, putting like a wreath at the roof on the peak of the house, putting a wreath there. And she suggested that it would look really cute using some rickrack ribbon and like white to put along the roof to kind of look like snow on there. So a lot of fun ideas we were talking about. So now, and I rarely make the same pattern over and over, but this one, because we were bouncing all those ideas, I really want to do now. I know, Chris, like, it's so hard because with the scraps and making half square triangles, there's a lot of different pattern ideas out there, but it's finding something that works with the fabric you have sometimes too. Like, it just always doesn't work out. So I understand completely. I feel like one of the big things you can do with scraps is, if you have a big variety of them, is to find a pattern that has some background fabric in it that will help tie everything together and not make it look so busy or have space where your eye can rest, or have a block that looks good with sashing around it so that you can kind of break up all the busyness from the scrappy fabric too. Oh, Linda, you're so lucky. We had so much fun in Tennessee, and especially my kids really loved Dollywood. I think it was 2 summers ago maybe that we went out there, and we had a lot of fun. It is so beautiful in that area. So it was a fun little vacation that we went on. I don't usually use this big rotary cutter, but honestly, I've just been using all of the ones that me and my husband tested recently. When one of the blades kind of like wears out, I'll just switch to another one. So I feel like we didn't waste money buying all of those. I do need to just donate them, I think, somewhere. But yeah, so that's kind of why this one's kind of clunky for me to use. And I'm scared to like use my hand to brush it away because I don't want to hit my hand with the blade using it that way. So I don't normally scrape across the cutting mat, but just because I'm afraid I'm going to hit myself with it because it's much bigger than what I normally use. Oh, thank you, Mary. Is it pre-recorded? I know he did post recently that one of them's going to be a pre-recorded interview, but I couldn't remember which one it was, but thank you. Hi, Debbie. Nice to see you too. Jeanette, so it sounds like you have yours organized at least by color. I really need to figure out a way to organize all my scraps in a way that works for me. I just haven't figured that out yet. Usually, if I can figure out a way to keep things organized that works for me and is easy for me to keep up with, then I will keep up with it. But all the different methods that I've tried from different books I've seen or in magazines, like suggestions, all of them are just, it's too complicated for me to keep up with. I need to find a way, but I just haven't yet. Oh, that sounds really pretty, Danelle. And I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm horrible with pronouncing names. Pronouncing words in general is not my thing. Grammar is not my thing. All of it is kind of pretty awful. So I hope I'm at least close. And I do apologize if I do pronounce anybody's name wrong. I know what it's like. My name got pronounced all wrong all the time, all throughout school. I just kind of got used to it, but I know it can be, if it's a name that is pronounced wrong often, it can get tedious hearing it wrong all the time. But I do try. I promise I do. I'm making quicker work with this than if I didn't hop on here and chat with you all, because I was working on it for a little bit and I kept watching the TV instead of doing this. And so I thank you all for coming and keeping me company while I work on this. These are tiny little guys. And they're going to look even smaller whenever I get them all sewn together too. I'm going to have to look after I'm done at who Sean has on, because now I'm really curious, because I know I saw the scheduled video. I think it's someone new. I think it's someone I haven't heard of. And I feel like it was more of an interview style, he said. Because sometimes he has people on and they do a project and they sew, and those are fun. I really love the interviews though, especially when it's a new creator that I'm not familiar with. Some of these pairings are so, I seriously just I cut the fabric, the scraps, and just grabbed fabric and I shuffled it all around after I got it all cut. So some of these pairings are really busy and crazy. This quilt's gonna get made either way. Just hopefully it turns out, and hopefully it turns out well enough that I feel like posting the tutorial video that I've been working on as I put it together. And that's just a little kind of sneak peek into my channel too, is there's some videos and projects that I work on and get, parts of it done and filmed and the video done, and then I just don't like the way the project turns out completely and it doesn't become a posted video. Sometimes that happens. Wash your hands. I love that. I love that name. That's funny. Did that come about in recent time in the world here? Wash your hands. So this little trimmer that I am using is a trimmer that me and my husband make. It is called the Trim Lock, and we sell it in our shop. This is a 2.5 inch. It's sold in bundles with a 2.5 inch, a 3.5 inch, and a 4.5 inch. Like this, it has like some grippies on the back, and it's really simple. It just has lines corner to corner, so you can trim up half square triangles or hourglass blocks. So I really like it. If you do a lot of half square triangles in these sizes, I think it would come in really handy. Just keep in mind that they're just the size they are. So if you're doing a different size other than the bundles sizes, then, you know, they wouldn't really work. We have been thinking about releasing a bundle that has a, I think it's a 3-inch, a 4-inch, and a 5-inch is what we were planning. So we might be doing that too, because a lot of people have really asked for them in more sizes. But it's just kind of something that we're thinking about. But yeah, so they're just little tools that we make that it honestly has made my life easier with trimming these guys. Because normally I get 2 sides cut with the Tucker trimmer that I have, and it works really well. I love the Tucker trimmer. You can get a lot of sizes done, but this is just so convenient where I don't have to readjust it and cut all the sizes. So I do really like it. But like I said, the Tucker trimmer is nice too, because it offers so many different sizes. There's just so many tool options out there. This, I would say, if you do a lot of half square triangles in the same size, though, this makes it really convenient. Angela, yeah, the only thing, so when we do the larger sizes, the one thing that we want to think about is to make sure that, you know, with the pressure that it gives, that it's going to be able to turn the fabric as nicely as it does with these smaller sizes that we've offered it in. So it'll definitely be something that I want to test first and make sure that it works well in those larger sizes too. I will say, like, this mat that I'm using, this June Taylor mat, they work the best on this mat. It turns so beautifully. One of my older mats is really, really rough. What is this one over here? The Cute Cuts. It's really rough because whatever that mat was designed with, the blade, let me close the blade on this. The blade really roughed up that mat a lot. Like, a lot of the lines where I've used it a lot are missing on it. It doesn't turn as well on that one because I think because the mat's so rough, the fabric doesn't want to turn as freely. But on this mat here, oh my gosh, it works like such a dream. Isn't that interesting how there's like some half square triangles? I don't know if it's just patterns you're drawn to, or if you do a lot of scrap quilts that's the size you like doing. But yeah, I know I've noticed that too, that sometimes there's more sizes of certain blocks that I find myself doing a lot more than others. Hi, Debt-Free Quilter. Remind me of your name because I know it, but it's not coming to my brain right now, and I know it's because I'm in front of the camera and live. Ugh. See, I'm probably going to need to grab a different rotary blade because this one's getting dull now. Oh, man. I don't know what the weather is like in your neck of the woods, but here in Texas, it has been so hot. Even late at night when we go to soccer practice. Oh my goodness, because it's an hour and a half, and so it's not really time for me to come home and then go back and get her. So I just stay there, and I don't want to keep the car running, so I just put the windows down and you know, wait for her to get done. But I've been having to turn the car back on and cool down, and I feel bad because I know she's out there in the like actual heat doing active stuff. But even at like 8 at night, it has still been 100 degrees here in Texas. It is so hot. This summer has been brutal for so long. All I have under my machine is like a little holder that I have that puts that I put some of my stuff that I use a lot in there, like a turning tool and some of the feet I use, the seam guide. But what sort of mat should I get for under my machine? I really need to invest in a really good high quality sewing table, or have my husband build one, because these are just like IKEA tables and they shake a lot. So yeah, so Heather, I knew that. Now after I saw after I saw you write it, I was like, I knew that. I hate when I do that. It'll be all the time where I'm like trying to think of a name of a movie or an actor or actress in a movie, and it will not come to me, and I either have to try to look it up through Google, or I'll be laying in bed at night and it just pops into my head finally like 4 hours later for no reason. And it doesn't matter at that point because I don't know why I was trying to think of it or who I was trying to tell it to, but it'll finally come to me. I'll have to look at that because sewing machine noise is annoying, and especially the vibration. I'm sure that's a little bit of sarcasm there, Heather. It's been so bad here. We have had a lot of roads that are closed because the road's just buckling under the heat and they're having to replace sections of it. It's just, and we need some rain. We need some rain so badly. I can't even remember when we last had rain anymore. It is so dry. Our grass looks pathetic in the yard, and we've been trying to water it, but a lot of the surrounding areas around us are under the drought warnings, and they aren't even allowed to water their yards right now. So I don't know. I feel like if we keep trying to water them, maybe we'll end up where we're in that stage as well. So we just need some rain. Hopefully it rains. And then I see all these other areas that are flooding because they're getting so much rain. And it's like, can't we figure out a way to just switch for a little bit? Oh, thank you. Wash your hands. I feel like I need to know your name too, so I don't feel like I'm telling you to go wash your hands. You don't have to share though. I know some people don't put their names on stuff for privacy and everything, so don't think I'm demanding that you tell me your name. I'm just saying I feel bad telling you over and over to wash your hands, but I do love the screen name or whatever the kids are calling all these social media handle things these days. I don't know all the fancy tech terms or whatever they're called. How do you like the cutie frame, Jeanette? I keep seeing them and I see mixed reviews, but I have seriously been thinking about getting one because I have so many quilts I need to get quilted, and quilting on this machine is a lot easier than on my other machine, but it's still not super easy. But I feel like one of those would help me a lot. Ah, Teresa. That's a pretty name. I trimmed a side that didn't need to be trimmed on that. Did you all see that? Oh my goodness. Good grief. It's like I just got into a zone with twisting this and trimming. Oh, I feel silly. I just have a few more. Look at that. Look at that. This is a pretty combo, this one. I like that. Probably because that's how I'm used to seeing these, with more of a solid and a print, that it catches my eye a little more, but most of them are super busy, and it's like, why does that fabric go together? I'm feeling that, I hope this project turns out like I envisioned at this point. I only have 3 more. That's crazy. I feel like I got through these really, really quick. Now I don't have anything else to really talk about. I'm running out of stuff because all I do is sew and work on different quilts and projects I have, then soccer. That's like my life right now. And well, I guess we did start back to homeschool stuff too, but that's not as fun really. And I don't have to do as much with that anymore. Because both of my kids are in high school now, and we have them on like an online private school type deal. So I'm not doing lesson plans and going and buying books and all that stuff anymore. So that's a little bit easier. Hi, Kathleen. Look at those. Okay, so I didn't do these all on the live. There was a few already there. I think I still had some on here. I know I moved a bunch over, but I did a lot. I got a lot of them finished. I think I did have a little pile over here still before I got live and started, but I'm excited. I'm excited to have a big chunk of these finished. Because I had these, I needed 108 of. I have the hourglass that I cut 36 of, and then I just have 2 more blocks that I'm going to do for this quilt, and then hopefully it works out and it becomes a video on the channel. What do you all do with your little leftover trims? I've been keeping them in a little bag because I thought they might be fun to like use as stuffing in a project. You know, sometimes I make things that need to be stuffed that are smaller. I've heard people save them up for like dog beds and stuff like that, but I have a little bag that I have them in, and then I haven't done anything with them yet. All right, Kathleen, I'll keep an eye out. Oh, thank you, Debbie. I really have liked them. So Jeanette says, that you love your cutie frame with the 13-inch, or yeah, 13-inch mid-arm. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because the smaller throat space would get in the way. Okay. I'm going to look into it more. I just don't know. With everything that we're doing, my space is getting smaller and smaller up here. I really wanted to get a long arm, but I just don't have this. This room is huge, but with all the slide lock assembly stuff and all that going on now and all the packing material, I don't have room up here for one now. We might just have to get rid of our dining room stuff so I can have one. But yeah, it's crazy how much space quilting stuff takes up. I mean, the fabric, all the things. I mean, it's crazy. Oh, nice. They went back to school yesterday. Yeah, I have a lot of my friends whose kids went back to school. They've been so excited. Here, the schools are getting so crowded. This area is growing up really fast. My daughter's friend was over yesterday before we went to soccer because they like to work out together. And she was saying that it's pretty crowded at the schools. The hallways are really, really full. The schools here went back Monday, I believe. And I saw people posting in some of our community boards that their kids didn't get home till 8 p.m. I could not believe that. Or maybe it was the week before. I think it was the week before they went back to school. See, I don't even know for sure since we've been homeschooling for a while now. All the weeks just blend together for me. But either way, some of them didn't get home till so late because of the buses trying to figure everything out, and you know, not having enough bus drivers and buses for all the kids around here. It's crazy. It's growing up so fast here. There is so many developments in this area, and they built some new schools around here, but I think they're just not able to build them fast enough. Oh, is that really, you can really do that? I never thought about that for them, for birds to build nests. That would be so cute seeing that. Oh, your long arm is in storage. I don't love that. I bet that's hard. I bet that's really hard. Uh, I couldn't. I really need to send this machine in to get service, to get a really good cleaning on it, because I use it so much. But it honestly scares me to be without it. I don't know why. It just, I'm like, I just don't like the idea of dropping it off. I know I've some people have cleaned them themselves, like opened them up and clean them, and I kind of don't have the nerve to do that either, since that's not something I know how to do. I don't think I'd feel comfortable doing it. And I'd be so scared that I'd break something. Oh, you just got the long arm and then it's in storage? Ah. Did y'all just move recently? You sold your dining room table and chair. I know. I feel like we don't really use our dining table that often. I feel like I could just sell them, get rid of them, and put a long arm in there, because we don't ever really use it for like a traditional dining room. If we use it, it's for like playing games and stuff. But we have our breakfast nook table that we could do that on too. So I don't know, maybe that would be a good idea. What I really need to do is, because there's some quilt shops around here where you can go take a class on their long arm, and they'll let you pay to, after you take the class and learn how to use it, and they know you know how to use it, you can just kind of like rent it and quilt your quilt top yourself. I think that would be something I want to do first, so I can kind of get the feel of it, make sure it's something that I enjoy doing, and then try out different long arms to see which one I might like to own, because I feel like they're probably all a little bit different. I don't know. I have not researched long arms enough. I just know I piece so many quilt tops. It's a lot of money if I pay to have somebody else long arm them all. And then just my time, if I try to do it myself on here, it takes a while. And plus, I'm really only comfortable doing like straight line stitching, so to quilt it together. So it kind of gets repetitive with all of them just being very simple like that. Not that it's bad, but some of the quilts that I have, I'd really like to be able to do more of a fun design on some of them. Some of them, the straight line quilting suits it really well. And then some of them, I would just love something more fun on them. Yeah, Jeanette, exactly. I just, it kind of is a bummer seeing the dining room not get used very often too, because a lot of stuff just gets piled up on the table that we put there because it's not used a lot. So it really could just be a space for something else. Hi, Miss Topaz. All right, I'll probably hop off soon. I wasn't on very long. I thought I'd be on for at least an hour working on these, but y'all made it quick work for me. But I'll probably start piecing together the next block I need to do, and the sewing machine is so loud live, I feel like. Especially since I didn't hook up my mics to use instead. Let me see if there's any more questions or anything. Are any of you in the chat, are you planning on doing the quilt along that I have planned? I know some of you might have said earlier, and I may have missed it because I mentioned it before. I'm really excited about it. But I know a lot of us have so many projects in progress, so don't feel bad if you can't join in right when it starts next week. The videos will be up so you can save them and get to the quilt along whenever you can. Thank you, Debbie. We'll probably honestly be working a lot this weekend. We have another order of slide locks to work on for a quilt shop. So we have to get those done, and then I have a few orders that I need to get packed. I just finished cutting some fabric for one. Let me grab it. I'll show you. It's really close by, but it's so pretty. If you haven't seen it in the shop, I ordered some different patterns recently to put in the shop. And this one is one that I am going to work on soon. It is so pretty and so fall. Fall is my favorite. So I love the little leaves and everything on it. But someone just ordered this. I put it together with a kit with the fabric that I just used for the quilt along, the Pathway Home quilt along. It's this exact same fabric line. And I think it's going to look so good with this quilt. So I'm going to be doing this one too, but I had to cut the fabric today for this order, and then I have a few other things I have to put together for it. Oh, great, Lisa and Chris. Yeah, so the videos will stay up. So if the piecing for the log cabins takes a little longer than the 9 patches, just because it's a lot of small pieces through there, but it's a very doable pattern. Not too many complicated segments for it or anything, and it's a nice size quilt. But the blocks are so large that I feel like after you get them pieced, it comes together really quick. It was a lot of fun to put together. It took me way longer than I thought it would when I started getting the ideas for this pattern to get the log cabin house block right. I thought it would be so easy to just get the log cabin part and slap the peak on it, but getting the sizing right for the flying geese block to make the roof of the house, to size up right with the log cabin and still be a size that worked with the double 9 patch block. It took a lot. I know it doesn't sound like it should, because they're both two pretty basic blocks, but getting the roof on the log cabin took a bit. Hi, Nancy. So Debbie, the machine that is over here I use for bag making a lot. I love to sew bags together too. I have some that I need to put in my shop that I made. I just have to get really good photos of them, but I sell bags every now and then on Etsy too, because I really love sewing them. I just don't need that many purses. But the machine over here is the Juki DU 1181N, and it is too heavy duty to use on cotton fabrics. So I use that when I'm using leather or faux leather or vinyl, anything kind of thicker when I sew bags. That's the one I use. It's really dusty right now. I need to clean it up because I haven't had a chance to make some bags in a while. I can grab one and show you if you want to see. So this Juki is the one that I use for quilting. It is the TL 2010Q. A lot of people love this machine. I see a lot of different content creators using this one. It is really heavy duty. It sews really fast, and I feel like I don't run into as many problems with it as I did with my Bernina. I know a lot of people love Berninas. And I think when you get up into the like really high end models, you probably wouldn't have as many issues as I had with that machine. But this one, I've been sewing on it a lot longer than I even sewed on my Bernina, and I haven't ran into any issues. This one is, I think I said it's the Juki DU1181N, and it's mainly only for like heavy duty materials. All right, I'll grab, let me grab the most recent purse that I made. I will be right back. So I mainly have started sewing purse patterns from, I think the name of the designer is Lavender and Twine, I think. I can't look it up on my phone right now because I'm doing this, but I love her bag patterns. They are so stylish, and the way she constructs them is just amazing. If you ever want to get into making bags that kind of look more designer, like professional, I highly recommend her her bag patterns. Not only, I mean, they look really complicated. They're not easy sews like doing, you know, like tote bags or things like that. But she puts so much work into the construction. Her patterns have links to tutorial videos she does showing how to do every single step of the bag. So I've never had trouble with them at all. So this is one of hers that I recently did, and it is just the cutest bag, and it was an amazing pattern. Hopefully you can see it well because I don't really have the camera set up that well, I guess I'm noticing. But whenever she releases a new bag, I try to get time to sew it, and they're lovely. They are so fun. I usually make a few of whatever one in different prints and stuff. They're like kind of my guilty pleasure to make these. And it's they're not quick to make in any way because it's not something I do all the time. Quilting is what I do all the time, but they're definitely faster together than a full quilt. So they're a lot of fun. I don't know if any of you make purses or like to make purses and stuff like that, but she has another pattern that I did recently that is a much quicker make and probably a little faster if you're just getting into it. And let me grab one of those. Sorry, I keep going off camera because this is kind of like impromptu to show the different. But so this is like one of hers that is a little smaller and just a cute little handbag. So fun. This one was so fun to sew, and I probably made 4 to 6 of these in different prints and stuff. And these come together really fast. There's like little pockets inside for cards and stuff that she designed. And the way it goes together is just so smart. It's almost all of her bags that I've made whenever I'm sewing them together. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. It's not going to work. And you just trust it, watch the videos, and it all turns out so perfectly. Thank you. Thank you, Debbie and Mary and Lisa. If you have ever thought of getting into making bags, I definitely recommend her patterns. If you're in my Facebook group, because I think it's Lavender and Twine or Lavender and Vine, something like that. If you really want to know what it is, put a post on my Facebook group and ask me, or you can do it in the comment here, and I will find out what it really is. And this one, if you don't have a heavy duty machine like this one is constructed using faux leather that is, I think it's called Mora leather. I get it from Emmeline Bags. It is a shop based out of Canada, but it ships really, really fast. The price for shipping isn't great, but the price for shipping from anywhere on anything isn't great right now. But this sews up really nice without having a heavy duty machine, but you still get the look of leather. And then this is cork, and I usually get my cork from either Sally Tomato or Emmeline Bags as well. And the cork sews up pretty well on just a domestic machine too. So doing it with this type of material sews up pretty well if you don't have like a industrial machine. Thank you, Yolanda. So hopefully I answered your question, Debbie. Like I said, you can ask me in my Facebook group. Just put a post there if you want to know where I get the material for bags, and I'll put links to the places that I get them, or ask me in like a comment on here so I can remember, and I'll give you links to the places I get the materials, and I'll specify as if they work well on a domestic machine to sew up, because some of the stuff that I get, like on this bag, it's genuine leather that I get, and I can't remember on here where I always get all my leather from the same place. I've tagged them before. If you're on my Instagram, I've tagged them before when I share photos of the bags. But I can find it if anyone's interested. But that leather, you can sew it on like a machine like this one. That's kind of like a more mid, not quite industrial machine, but a little more heavy duty. You don't get as nice of stitches on it, but it can be done if you're patient. Okay, great, Debbie. Yeah, I would definitely look at the Mora leather for Emmeline. It's from Emmeline Bags. I have used, and I don't like bad mouthing any company, because I think all materials have their place and how they're used. But the Mora leather, I have not run into any issues with when making it into bags. I purchased some of the faux leather from Sally Tomato before, and it would start wearing out at the corners and kind of flake off. And obviously, if you put in a lot of work to a product, you don't want kind of to see that wear and tear. So I really highly recommend the Mora leather from Emmeline Bags. Now, with Sally Tomato, I have purchased a lot of their cork, and I've never had an issue with that. So, and they have some really beautiful cork on their site. So, just some opinions I have. But if you've ever purchased the Mora leather, it feels so beautiful, and is a lot better price than buying leather. So I don't know how I even got onto bags randomly, but that was a fun little chat about them because I love making bags. I've done a few videos on my channel making bags, but I've noticed people don't love watching like hour plus long tutorial videos. It's a lot of work doing bag tutorial videos, because with quilts you can kind of do, if the quilt's made up of blocks, you can show putting together one block, and then, it just make that same block, 20 more times, and the video comes together. With bag making, it's so many steps to it. And I've had people ask a few more times for me to put a few more bag videos up, and I will eventually. Just right now, I'm so obsessed with this one designer's bags. And she does have on her patterns not to do tutorial videos on them, because she puts a lot of work into the pattern, and then she has tutorial videos available on the pattern for each step. So I'm definitely going to, respect her wishes on that. So yeah, I do have some other bag designers that I like, and they're okay with videos. So it might be something that comes on the channel again soon, but right now, right now it's not. Like, I don't know, have you watched any of the, not just mine, but any of the people who make bags, their videos? Do you like watching them all the way through? I'm just curious. I've watched Lauren Mormino. I've bought a lot of stuff for bag making from her site too. She has a channel on YouTube, and then she sells some fabric and stuff for bag making as well as hardware. And that's where I get, I don't think I have them over here, and I don't want to keep leaving camera, but that's where I get, if you ever see me using sparkly purple Wonder Clips, I got those from her site. But she does a lot of full bag making tutorials. So I would recommend watching hers if you do want to get into it. Hi, Amy. Hi, So Yarn Arm. I love the names. So yeah, I think I rambled enough about bags. Started off as trimming half square triangles and got those all trimmed up. So I think I'm going to hop off and probably get some lunch and then get started on some more blocks that I have to work on today. I really appreciate you all coming and chatting with me. It was a lot of fun. It definitely made the time fly by a bit faster with the trimming of all those half square triangles. All my scrappy little guys that I got trimmed up here. So yeah, thank you. I hope you all have, hi Melanie, I am hopping off, but thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate all of you stopping by at my little impromptu live. I don't think I did that bad for being on by myself. I haven't been on by myself in a while. It's been, my husband's been on with me. Feeling a little better about it. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you this coming up Thursday for the first block of the Pathway Home Sew Along. We'll be working on the double 9 patch, and then the week after that, the log cabin house. So I hope to see you on those. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.